All right, guys, we are live and we're excited. We're going to be painting this beautiful, beautiful sunlit kind of scene where I was looking through these trees and the sunlight was filtering through. I'm going to be painting. I'll show you what I'm going to be painting on. I'll walk through a little bit of my materials here. And I also just wanted to say that you have the chance to win this painting. And so if you have not signed up, make sure you text me at the number that is down below this video, and I'm going to show you where I'm going to be painting. And you can see I've got a black canvas here. This is actually 12 by 12, and I've got my main basic colors that I use quite frequently. I've got white, yellow, orange. This is quinacridone red, ultramarine blue, black, and gray. And over here in the corner, I actually set out a little bit of what I use, phthalo blue. It's just a little bit more of a green blue, where this leans a little bit more towards red. And we're gonna have a real fun time tonight. So I'm going to, if you're here to paint along, you might need to, I don't know if you have any quick way to get a canvas that's dark, or if you have one like that, but I'm gonna just start in, and I'd love to hear where you are, what you're up to tonight, and I'd also love to hear how your day was. And we're gonna go, Peter's in here with me, and we're going to have just some fun live interacting time here. So, but tell us where you are, tell us what you're up to, and tell us how your day was. So I'm going to start by building on this big tree right here, because we've got this really cool tree. And man, it's been fun. Today I've had a good time this week giving away paintings too. It's been really fun. I don't know if any of you have been entering those, but because we've got these giveaways going every day, and it's been really fun. It's been fun to see people tagging other people that they think might be interested, or think people that are creative and stuff like that.
We got Elizabeth from Connecticut, Scott and Christine from Indy.
All right.
Todd is here, Jill is here, Ann is here, South Camino signing in.
Oh, all right.
Allison Burris. We got Lucia from Massachusetts. It's been pouring rain all day. Nice weekend coming up.
Oh man, awesome. It's been pretty good here. I went for a little bike ride yesterday with Willow, our daughter, and that was really, really fun. We went up to her old school. I say old school because, man, she hasn't been there for so long. Like the other day, I drove past the school and I told her, I said, hey, I have this vague memory of this place. What was this place? It's so weird. But we went up there and we were riding our bikes around. There's a little community center kind of right next to it. And we were in the parking lot, and really fun. And it was pretty nice. And today was even a little bit nicer. So
Sharon said currently prepping garlic to make a delicious Lebanese chicken dish.
Ooh, Lebanese chicken dish. Now that just sounds fun and sounds really yummy to me.
Yeah, it does.
I don't even know, to be honest, I don't know if I could say that I've had Lebanese food with any real confidence that I have, except for this one, because the closest I would say is probably, oh, thanks, Peter. Peter's helping me out with the screen, not showing the cursor, but we went to like this place called the Afghan Horseman when I lived in Vancouver, BC. And that restaurant, I remember going there and thinking, this is such incredibly good food. It reminded me a little bit of Greek food actually, but it had its own thing. Now, I don't know if that's anything close to what Lebanese food would be, but that would probably be the closest that I've had. Well, it might be the closest that I've had. That's me and my limited knowledge speaking, which is me about on every subject.
Then we got Shona. She says, here from New Zealand. It's Saturday afternoon.
Whoa, Shona, that's so awesome. Saturday afternoon. I think it's totally wild to me that like there's places that are that far ahead in terms of the time of the day and all that. Like, and the day, like you're already into Saturday and we haven't even finished Friday. That's pretty cool. So what's happening on Saturday afternoon in New Zealand that we should know about? Last time, I think, isn't there Roger? I'm trying to think of his name. He's signs in from Australia. And I know it was noon, I think, for him in Australia. So I don't know. How close is New Zealand to Australia in terms of time zone? I don't really know. Man, that makes me want to travel more.
Yeah. Yeah, we got Roger from Australia.
Okay, there you are, Roger.
Brooke says, hello, I'm a painter in your Facebook group. Love your work. Been posting my time lapses on my channel, trying to put myself out there.
Oh, that's awesome. I think, Brooke, did you on your YouTube channel, right? Because I think I saw your post yesterday about a time lapse. If I'm remembering correctly. Would that have been you? I think so, but I could be wrong. Man, my phone, I can feel my phone in my back pocket buzzing. Like I think people are texting in with their, yeah, that's fun. I've got some people texting in to check in or to register for the little painting giveaway. So dude, I'm just telling you straight up right now, this painting is going to be really cool. I'm super pumped about this kind of method that it's not that removed from the way that I paint a lot of times, but it's a little bit different. And I just love painting on black. And there's a lot of reasons I love painting on black, but it's kind of fun for me. One of the reasons I love painting on black is because it's kind of like it represents my life. Like I feel like my life has been a life that has had a lot of really good stuff in it, but I also have known the darkness of, you know, kind of like just being having problems, you know, like being addicted, struggling with addiction, and feeling like my life was falling apart and not having hope and not knowing where to turn. And I feel like it's kind of like a black canvas at the very beginning before you start bringing any color onto it. It's like there's just nothing. It's just kind of empty and it's dark. And that's the way that my life felt. And then I feel like God started doing some stuff on my black, dark canvas and started bringing light into it. And I think that that's part of why I like painting on black canvases, because it kind of reminds me of my own journey and my own story. And the way that light triumphs, it's more powerful. Like if you think about darkness is actually not anything. It's just the absence of light. And so it's kind of cool to think about how strong light actually is, and that it's way stronger than darkness. Darkness is nothing, but light is, you know, it changes, it transforms everything. So anyways, that's one of the big reasons that I think deep down I really love painting on black, because it's like kind of like reminds me of the hope that I have. And what God has done in my life.
Shona, the lady. Oh, sorry. Were you
Oh, no, I'm done.
Shona, the lady from Australia, says it's a beautiful sunny day this Saturday afternoon. We are still in lockdown, but just been out for a jog, and there are lots of people out walking, running, and jogging.
Oh, cool. It's so nice. Our state is actually getting close to opening up the state parks. And I'm telling you, man, I think there's so many people that are really excited about that, because when you live somewhere that's so beautiful, man, you just want to be able to go out and enjoy it. And so it's super nice to be able to go out. I'm happy for you that you're able to be out like that. What a fun. Do you live close to the beach, Shona? Did you say you were on the beach? I can't remember, even though you just said that. So what else? What else have people been up to today? Tell me anything, any news.
Michael says drink in hand and watching. Lucia says, holy moly, Jed, been there. Darkness in the back and now full light.
Yeah. Yeah, there's we all have our stories. I know. We all do.
We got 93 people right now with us.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna, you know, I actually am going to do a little. I was trying to figure out if we were going to be able to announce the winner tonight for this, or if we'll have to actually go through, because I don't know if we'll be able to sort through all the texts and stuff like that tonight before we're done here. But I think that there might be a way. But like I said earlier, I usually need help, and I might need to get Peter's advice on that, because he's going to help me figure out how we can do that, especially since I'm painting. So who's painting along with me? Is there anybody out there painting? I know Roger Nixon. I don't know about Roger from Australia, although the other week I think you were. But I believe that Roger from closer by told me he was going to be painting. But I don't know about anybody else. There's usually a few. So you're going to have to let me know if you're one of them. And if you are, then you can take you just have to let go of your brush for a second to type.
Joan is painting. Is that how you say it?
Joan?
Joan?
Yeah.
Joan is cop? Yeah. She says she's
I
painting.
think.
One guy says he's making jewelry.
Jewelry? Whoa! That's cool.
Yeah. Todd says I'm being lazy and just watching and eating a massive salad.
Oh, Todd, you strike me as somebody who's really healthy, man. Like, that's inspiring to me. You're sitting back eating a healthy salad. I love that.
Debbie, kudos on a nice Instagram message from Landscape today. You were well respected and loved among many artists and collectors. Hello from Camino Island, Washington.
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, I know Landscape Today guys pretty well. Like Benny and he's the guy who started Landscape Today. And it was super funny because I didn't realize it was him for a little while, because he asked if he could post something of mine. This was like a couple years ago. And I was like, oh yeah, of course. But I didn't know who I was talking to, because, Instagram's kind of like that. You don't always know who the person is. It's just a name. Like, I've had conversations with people on Instagram so many times, and I find out later that it was somebody that I knew and knew pretty well, but I didn't have any idea. But anyways, he's an awesome guy and a good painting friend from back in Indianapolis when I lived there. And then Justin, who took it over just today to do, because they're kind of trading off a little bit right now. Justin he took it over, and I don't know if he posted something today, but Justin's a really good painting friend, also from Indianapolis, and those two guys are super good buddies. They paint together all the time, outside in any weather. There's some great pictures of them painting in the snow, and there was one I saw of Benny yesterday painting. He's standing in the middle of a river, and he's got his easel in front of him in the river, and he's painting. Just so classic.
Rachel says I'm trying to paint along.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't do a ton of instructing in these, just because I have to kind of keep moving pretty fast, and I know that it could be kind of challenging to keep up. But one of the great things about this is that you can always just go as fast as you can and keep up as much as you can, but you can always go back and you can watch the video afterwards, and you'll be able to see the whole thing again.
You can pause as much as you want.
Yeah. In fact, it was kind of cool because I just got this message from somebody yesterday from Acrylic University, somebody who's a member. They just became a member like a week ago. And this person is I don't know if she's ever been a part of something like that as much, but she took a workshop from me recently online, and she was saying in her message, she was saying, man, like, I really love being able to learn through these videos because I always have the best view. And it's kind of funny because like live workshops are super awesome, but every once in a while you get stuck in a bad place and you can't see anything. And you don't want to be rude and always take the best spot in the front. So that's one thing that is kind of nice about these kind of things is you can rewind this and go back and watch. And you always have the best view.
Yep. Cameron says, howdy from Texas. I spent a good amount of time today playing with our foster puppies with the kids. Now I'm crocheting a baby blanket for my nephew while watching me paint.
That sounds awesome.
Okay.
That's kind of a good hobby to have. Like I've never done it myself, anything like that, but I feel like I know a few people who I can't even think of who exactly it would be, except I think that a couple my nieces, there's a couple nieces who might do something like knitting, and they'll just sit and they'll just be hanging out and talking, and at the same time they're knitting, and they're like doing these really cool things, and it's kind of fun to have a hobby that you can sit and you don't have to be totally thinking about all the time, so you can kind of like what I'm doing. I feel like it's the opposite way for me because you know, you can see what I'm doing and I can't see what you're doing, but in a similar way we're just kind of hanging out, and it's kind of fun for me because I paint by myself quite a bit, but it's actually really kind of fun to paint with other people. And this is a little bit of a way to do that. Not in person, of course, but it's kind of cool that somebody thought of how to make all this happen. Somebody a lot smarter than me. Man, sometimes I think about what people have invented and I just get blown away. Like who even can think about, I mean, honestly, like from what I understand, a computer runs on just numbers, the numbers 1 and 0. like, and somehow somebody figured out how to like code that kind of stuff to have it make sense. I mean, I don't know. I might have talked about this like the other day with you guys because I still get blown away by things like the record player, you know, just those old vinyl record players. How did somebody figure out how to make a, you know, music come out of the box like that, that would like have this little needle and it just goes around, and somehow that picks up some kind of vibration or something like that, that then comes out through these wires and goes through speakers and creates beautiful music or whatever it is. Like, who thought of that? How did that actually come into being? Because that kind of stuff is crazy to me. I mean, it's easier for me to wrap my head around the digital world in a way. Like, it's easier for me to think, oh well, you save a file and somehow that turns into music as you play it on this. But it's not that it's easier, but for whatever reason, the record player is the one thing that I always go back to, and I think, like, I don't understand that. I don't get it at all. And if you're saying things right now and I'm not responding, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because Peter left the room and he's not able to tell me what anybody's saying. And so hopefully he'll be back pretty soon, and then I'll be able to respond if you said something. But look at this phthalo blue here. It's just like so crazy cool, so beautiful. And I don't know if you guys paint much or are around art much, but there's a funny meme I saw a while ago about phthalo blue, and it's the one that has Jack Nicholson, and it's from the movie A Few Good Men, when he's on trial in the movie, and Tom Cruise is the attorney, and Tom Cruise is trying to get him to, he's trying to like just get him to be kind of bravado and like just come out and say what he ends up saying, because he ends up saying, you can't handle the truth. Tom Cruise is saying, I want the truth, I want the truth, and he says, you can't handle the truth. But this meme says, you can't handle the phthalo blue. I think it's so funny because phthalo blue is such a strong color, and like you really, it's so beautiful, but dang, it is kind of hard to handle sometimes because it's so strong. And a lot of times people, you can use it in a way that really doesn't look that very good because it's so vibrant, but it can take over a painting really easily. So I just think that's a pretty funny idea. Like, you can't handle the phthalo blue. I don't know if anybody said anything, Peter.
Yeah, we got a couple questions.
Okay.
Thanks for doing this. Do you purchase black canvas or do you paint it black?
I painted this black. This is a just a normal canvas here, but I toned it just with normal black paint. Actually, there's nothing super fancy about the black paint that I used. Just normal acrylic black paint, a thin layer.
Cool. Then so Raquel, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm sure I'm butchering all your names, but she asks, okay, I'm noticing that sometimes you mix a color and then you change brushes and mix another color without laying down the first color you mixed. Why?
Probably indecision, or probably like one thing that I just did was I was gonna do something, I think, over here, like with some of the background. And then I realized that I wanted to give this tree a little bit more shape because I had it really, really straight. And in the reference photo, it's got a little bit more of a curve to it. So I kind of noticed that after I was already kind of starting to do something. So then I let go of a brush and picked up another one. That's probably what you see is I have an idea, but then I observe something and my observation tells me I should probably deal with the issue that I just noticed before I do the original idea.
Linda asks, what brand of ultramarine blue do you use? It always looks so much more brilliant than my golden.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, Linda. I lied to you guys earlier, and right after I said it, I was gonna say, but I ran out of ultramarine blue, and this is actually cobalt blue, and it is Utrecht cobalt blue, pure from Utrecht. But you can also, I'm using this phthalo blue, so some of what you might be seeing is the phthalo blue that's mixed in, and it is very vibrant. But this is not ultramarine up here. It's cobalt, which is going to be a little bit, maybe a little bit more vibrant than ultramarine blue.
Carol asks, I came in a little late. Why are you using black canvas versus white canvas?
I use black canvases sometimes. Well, I like painting on black because it's kind of a fun way to paint, and there's not a lot of specific reasons except that I like it. that's pretty much all that it is. I really like it. It's in some ways it's easier for me to see what I'm doing, and I know, like, a lot of times people ask me this, and I don't have a good answer because honestly it's like it's personal preference, and it's not always, it doesn't always make sense to other people, but it's basically because I would say this, it probably skews the way that I think about it. I think the very first painting that I did that I really liked, and I thought, whoa, I think that's pretty good. It was done on a black canvas, and it was in a workshop that I was taking, and my paintings up till that point in the workshop had been kind of mediocre. And then I painted on a black canvas, and it was like, whoa, that really worked. What just happened? And so that's probably part of it. I've never really thought about that, but psychologically, it probably was a real kind of win for me, and it probably made me really keen on using black canvases in the future. But that's mainly the reason, is just because I just like it. Nothing super technical about my choosing it.
Summer asks, you paint such a variety of scenes. What is your favorite subject / scene to paint?
My favorite subject to paint, boy, I have to say that I do love painting trees. I think that it's because you can get scenes like this where there's such radiant light coming through, but that's hard. It's a really hard question for me to answer because I also love painting cities and alleys and weird things that most people don't really like to paint. But if there was one common theme through all of it, I would have to say that the theme would be light. It would be sunlight. And if you didn't hear my earlier, kind of talking about this, I feel like it kind of ties into why I like painting on black, is because I was saying earlier how I feel like my life is kind of represented by a dark canvas and being void of hope and light and things like that, and then having light brought into it. And so I think that that's kind of part of what makes me love painting light. But it's also just like, man, when you're at this used to happen in Vancouver, BC, when we lived up there. Like, we lived pretty close to the beach, and we would go for walks along the beach all the time, and you'd see at sunset there'd be just throngs of people lined up along the shore. And Vancouver's a really beautiful city. I mean, there's incredible architecture there, super cool skyline, all sorts of neat things, and lots to look at. But in the evening, when the sun was setting, nobody was looking towards the city. Everybody along the whole beach was looking at the sunset because we are drawn to the light and to the beautiful colors that come out when the light is on display like that. And I think that that's kind of what makes me like art and want to paint, is just like seeing that light and wanting to paint it, you know. I mean, it's just the one common theme in all the stuff that I paint, I would say. And what I like about painting on dark is that there's such contrast, and it takes a while to build up the light to be the degree of lightness that I need it to be or want it to be. But once I can get there, it's like it's set against a really dark color, and that really dark color is going to make a super high contrast that's going to be super beautiful. And um, so it's kind of like, because I love painting light, I feel like using a dark canvas gives me the best chance of creating the effect of light, which seems a little bit backwards maybe, because you might not expect that the dark would be a good way to show the light, but it kind of works.
Lucy says, "You really know how to paint light. That's what drew me to your paintings." And then Janet says, "Yes, Lucy, I agree with that. And I also love to paint trees. Home for my job as a nurse, and this is a great way to decompress and get ready for a creative weekend. Thank you for sharing your gift, Jed."
Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, so excited to be able to do it. Glad that you're here.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
We love what we do here at Acrylic University. We really do. We love interacting with people. We love being able to share some of the joy that we have, and we love seeing other people thrive and gain joy, and, you know, be able to have stuff that they, you know, a lot of times it's cool to see somebody take off and flourish in something that they might not have even known that they liked, or they might have been afraid to try. That's actually one of my greatest joys as an art instructor, is when somebody doesn't think that they are quote unquote a good artist or quote unquote creative, and they think, oh, I could never do that, or, you know, something like that. I mean, I've had so many experiences where people come in with such kind of man, like just ideas about themselves that are not accurate, but they have kind of believed for a long time. And to be able to help somebody grow in confidence in their creative outlet, or try something that they maybe wanted to try before but been afraid to try, that's just super cool. And it's super fun to be part of that. Even if I'm a really small part, it's really fun to kind of sit on the wall and watch somebody grow and try things. So that's why one of the reasons we love what we do here. And there's a lot of stuff in here that's going to be kind of what I always talk about, negative shape painting, and like we're going to have branches that cut through, things like that we have to be aware of, and we have to kind of keep track of, because we don't want to lose those effects with a negligent kind of brushstroke. But And then we're gonna also want to come through and make sure that the painting is kind of unified, that there are small variations within larger value masses, and it's not totally broken up into like 100 different values, which is, I guess probably you could say it's a little bit of a danger in painting on black, is that if you have your colors on top and they're not unified or kind of tied together, that it could come across a little bit scattered as a whole painting. And so I'm going to be doing a little bit of work on that. Just even what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to be aware of some of the things that I need to pull together. So Peter, I was saying earlier I don't think you were in here, but I was saying that I don't know. Do you think that there's a way for us to draw the winner while we have people here with us tonight?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me check. We've got quite a few people who texted in already.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I didn't say that you had to be here to win.
Yeah.
But it'd be kind of cool if somebody who was here won.
Yeah. We have 106 people on the.
Okay. Sweet. Hey, thanks for being here, guys. We really, really love having you. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, do that. And if you haven't texted in with your number, do that too, because that's how we let people know, like when we're going live. We've been trying to figure out the best way for us to communicate with people, and that only works if you're from the US or Canada. So if you aren't, sorry, those of you from Australia or New Zealand or different places, it won't work. But that's not the only way we communicate. It's just what we've realized is probably the most efficient way.
Yeah.
But it costs us money, so we don't do it. It's not like we're gonna send you something every day, even though right now I have been, because it's kind of like I'm doing the giveaway. But in the future, it's gonna be just a little bit less frequent, but it's the best way to keep in tune with what's going on. And we're gonna do these kind of things periodically. So if you want to stay in tune with that, make sure that you text in, and we are not going to bug you. You can always opt out of my text messages, but it is kind of the best way that we've found that we can keep in contact with people.
Kim Makovic says, painting, popcorn, and wine, a perfect Friday night.
Oh, awesome. That's so great.
That sounds awesome.
I think it's funny because Renee came up with that. She said something, I saw her text that she sent out, and she said painting and popcorn. And I was like, that's great. I love that idea. And I'm glad that you're actually eating popcorn while you're watching this, Kim. That's super fun. I made one of my things that's been really fun that I've been doing with Willow, our daughter, these days during the quarantine, especially, as I've been watching different things with her. We went through all the Star Wars movies. What else have we been watching? Then we started watching the Lego Star Wars things, and I don't know, we've watched a bunch of stuff. Mostly the Star Wars was the big thing, but last night I was went in and we're sitting down to watch something. I was like, hey Willow, would you like some popcorn? So she wanted it, but Renee Renee, she wasn't so keen on, the delay of waiting to make popcorn, but I just felt like, oh man, popcorn is really going to help this be a real fun time. So I ended up going out and making the popcorn. And I'm telling you, popcorn's just so good. It's like, there's nothing else that's quite like popcorn. Besides, I do like this. There's a new, something called popcorners. It's like a chip that's made out of popcorn. And it's pretty dang good. Have you had that, Peter?
Yeah, I have. That's good.
Yeah.
Allison asks, how is Silver?
Silver. Oh, you know what? I'll get Silver before the end of the night, and I'll bring him in because, oh man, he's doing awesome. Like we just love Silver so much, like all of us. He's such a good little cat, and he's fun. He's full of energy, and he's growing. We can already tell that he's growing.
He's way bigger than we got him.
Yeah, he's probably gonna be like a big old fat cat. Like that. We watched a video the other day of some friends of ours they have a daughter, and the daughter was holding this gigantic cat and kind of like dancing with this cat. And we were laughing so hard because we're like, that's probably what it will be like with Willow and Silver. Like Silver will probably, he's got a pretty good life. Like he's got a lot of attention, a lot of people. We're basically home 90% of the time, so he doesn't lack really anything that way. But I have this feeling like, because we're gonna have to get him neutered, and my mom was saying that when you neuter a cat, they end up usually getting pretty big and fat. So I was just imagining him. Yeah. Oh man.
Todd says, try air pop popcorn drizzled with olive oil, fresh grated Parmesan cheese, and pepper, and a little sea salt.
Oh yeah,
That sounds really
send me that, Todd. Send me that little recipe, because that's what we do. We do air pop popcorn all the time, and normally we just do like normal butter and salt. But I'd love to try out your different recipe there. Yeah, but man, air pop popcorn with like real butter, sheesh, that's the way to go. Not to say that yours isn't, Todd, but like compared to store or like those microwavable kind, which are those are pretty good too. But when you make your own, you really think, this is so much better. So what I was wondering, Peter, would be like, could we come up with could you like create another keyword that we tell these people to text in, and then we choose from that list?
Yeah, I could. I don't know if we want to do that though, because we already got 100 and some people on the other one. But we can choose them from, we can choose them during this thing if we want to, before we end. We can choose the winner.
Okay. What if they're not part of this? Will we just keep choosing until we'll just have to?
Some people watching it on mute, I don't know.
Oh, that's
true. We'll pick a winner and text in. I don't know if we'll be able to pick them out in chat.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry. Peter's my reasonable sounding board. Man,
that would be cool though. That would be really cool.
No, super fun. Now, are you guys excited about this? Because I'm looking at this going like, sheesh, I'm loving this. Like, I just love, I don't know, I guess I'm falling in love with Phthalo Blue again. That's part of it. I haven't used it for a while, not because I didn't like it, but because I've been using such a limited palette, and it's been the blue that I chose not to really bring into my limited palette as much. But recently, I've just been thinking, and this is a really fun color, and I like what I can do with it. I'm trying to, well, I am bringing it into more of what I'm working on. It's been fun. So who's got a good joke for us?
Well, real quick, lots of people say they love the painting. So.
Oh, okay. I was actually, what was it? I had a joke that I'm trying to think if I can think of a. Dang, I had a joke that I thought of the other day. It was a good one. All my jokes are really good. Just ask Willow. That's what I'm waiting for, as Willow's only 8. But I think, like, what will she be like when she's 14, 15, and like I can already tell that, you know, like, she's like, we have a really good relationship, and like, I love hanging out with her, and you know, she still thinks I'm kind of funny sometimes, but I can tell, like, that, like, there'll probably be a time when she's just like, Dad, that is not funny at all.
Dad jokes.
Yeah, dad jokes. How did that become a saying, though? I mean, like, dad jokes? Is it that common that dad jokes are that bad?
Yes, so.
Oh. Okay, you guys will not like this joke. I'm pretty sure you won't like this joke. But as a dad and mom, when Renee and I heard it, we thought it was pretty funny, just because it was like, it basically took us into like the kind of kid humor that I don't know, it was just kind of funny. Here's the joke. Where does the general keep his armies? Where does the general keep his armies? And the answer is up his sleeveys. Oh man, I laughed so hard when I heard that. Dad joke.
Okay, so somebody was asking about how your painting style has changed over time, and then Carol says, there's a particular picture Jed painted in 2016 of a mountain scene that seems like blocks of color, but maybe that's my computer screen that doesn't show a lot of detail.
Oh, you know what my deal is, guys? I change a lot all the time. And I'm kind of, it's part of my personality is that I get bored with stuff, and I get bored with styles, and I get bored with like all sorts of stuff. Like, I'm all excited about this right now, and I might run with this for a while, like kind of like just go like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna paint on black for a while, and I'm gonna, you know, like kind of do this, and you know, I might run with it, but I'll probably get bored with it, and I'll probably change. Unless I sell every one of them, and then I won't get as bored as quickly. You know, like, honestly, you kind of, as an artist, like, you're always like playing this kind of thing where you don't want to be captive. At least most artists that I know actually like experimenting and like trying new things, and so there's kind of this sense of like, I don't want to be captive to like do something just because somebody else likes it, or because a gallery said that they wanted more paintings like this or something. You kind of want to be able to paint what you love and in a way that you want, to be able to experiment and try things and all that. So I kind of like, while I'm not super hard, like if somebody asks for something and they like if a gallery says they like this style, like I listen. I'm not totally against listening to what other people say, but at the same time I do get bored with stuff, and so I kind of switch back and forth between styles, and I hope that over time I've grown and that my paintings are a little bit better than they used to be, or at least I know a little bit more so I can try to make them better. But I would say that, man, they've changed a lot. And then they, in some ways they haven't changed, because maybe I've gone back to a style that, like this one, you could kind of look back at old paintings and you would see something that you would recognize, I would guess. And then probably other ones that look so different, and you wouldn't even recognize really that it's the same artist. So that one, I think I know what you're talking about, Carol. And I painted this one that was really different. If we're thinking about the same one, I might not be, unless Carol. I'm assuming this is Carol Chode right now, and I think actually you bought a painting. You bought that painting, but there's another one I did that was kind of like that, and I think it started me down a path, and that was like, I did a small version of something with the style like that. It was kind of like blocky, but kind of soft too. And I liked it. And then I was like, I'm going to do a bigger painting with this because I liked it so much. And then I don't even know if I've really done that since then. It's like, I don't think I got bored with it as much as, I don't know what happened, maybe now I'll need to rethink that and go back and say, oh, maybe I should paint like that. That was kind of fun. And I didn't even get bored of it yet. But every once in a while you end up kind of discovering something, maybe through experimenting, maybe through something else, and you really do like it.
Laura says, good, keep switching styles with us, we'll love it.
Okay.
And then Todd Gardner says, yeah, when my daughters were young, I was cool. When they became teenagers, I was not cool. Now that they're adults, I'm cool again, full circle.
That's so funny. I know. Well, I think, wasn't it Mark Twain? Mark Twain said something. It wasn't about cool or not cool, but he said something like, when I was 15, my old man didn't know anything. And then he says, when I was 25, I was surprised to see how much he'd learned in 10 years. I think it's pretty awesome, because it's like, we have how do we get such low perceptions, of people who care about us so much and have done so much for us? I think it's just part of the growing up process and trying to become independent. Because it's not a logical thing. I think, but it's funny, like you said, yeah, you're the hero. At first, I heard somebody else talk about it like that, like you're the hero of your kids when they're young, and then you're a zero, and then you become a hero again, hopefully later. Oh man. So here's a question. Do you guys think that the world is going to go back to some semblance of normal? Or do you think that it will always be different now? That's my question.
That's a big question.
Big question. because the reason I ask is because when we hang out like this over the internet, I immediately start thinking, oh man, wouldn't it be fun to have a get together? Like I think I said this last week during this. I was like, man, wouldn't it be fun to, you know, have like a workshop or have some kind of thing where these people that we have gotten to know, sometimes even solely through the internet, you know, we could actually get together and do something. So then I go, well, will that ever happen? I don't know.
Laura Azeltine, I like that answer. She says it will always be different. We perceive life completely differently now. I think gratitude will prevail. I like that answer.
You won Peter's vote of approval.
Yeah.
Wow, nice answer, Laura. Yeah. Well, it is. I do think that there's something about gratitude. It's like when we lived in Indiana and I didn't see mountains or ocean for so long. I really appreciated that more because I didn't have it. And I feel like there is an element of that right now where we've not been able to enjoy certain things. And I think it is producing an element of appreciation and gratitude. And hopefully that does really carry on, you know? Like it's easy to forget about stuff like that, but I think you'll be right. I hope so. I know that I appreciate every time I get to go outside. I appreciate being able to see. I mean, I don't see very many people, but I appreciate the people that I have been able to see. You know, even like going to the grocery store. I love some of those memes too. I saw a picture the other day. Renee's on. She like, I don't know. She had some Facebook. She actually has reposted a bunch of them. I didn't even know Renee was doing all this Facebooking, but she was putting on this thing that basically said, it was like a picture of some lady dressed up in. By the way, we've got about 10 more minutes and then I'm going to be wrapping up. But this picture of a lady who is all fancy dressed up, and she was, the meme said something like, I'm going out to get the mail or something. Like she was all dressed like she was going to the royal ball. That's the way it is. It's like we get excited for things like getting the mail. I think Martha, I don't know if Martha's watching tonight or not because it's probably 3 a.m. in Spain, but she said that she was getting excited to bring the garbage out to the end of the driveway. Oh, truly. Okay, there's some really cool, like, subtle colors down here in the bottom that I'm gonna try to put in there, a little bit more grayish.
Todd says, hey, are you making fun of my flat city?
No, I'm not, Todd. I loved Indianapolis, but people would always ask me, why did you move here? like when they hear I was from Vancouver or Seattle, they'd say, why did you move here? And they couldn't understand, because pretty much it's like everybody in the Midwest, if they're going to move or if people are going to move, they usually are moving to the coast or to the mountains like Colorado. And we were doing the exact opposite. We were moving from the coast and from the mountains to the flatland. But you know what made Indianapolis so great? It wasn't the geography. Okay, let's be honest. The geography is kind of boring. But what made Indianapolis really great was the people. The people there were super, super, super wonderful, super kind, and it was a really good place for us to be when we were there. So I'll never speak poorly of Indianapolis because I have too many people that I really loved there and who loved us, including you, Todd. I met Todd at a art reception there. I had a show going on, and Todd came through, and I totally distinctly remember meeting you, Todd. Um, we talked for quite a while, and I remember you telling me like about what you were what you were doing, what you were graphic designer, you moved back, all the stuff that well, I mean, you wrote it again in a letter, but it was a lot of it I'd remembered from that conversation so long ago. And then Todd came out to Washington a couple years ago and took a plein air painting workshop with me, which was super cool. And then he was going to take a workshop with me last year at an event, and then I ended up canceling. So I apologize, Todd. I think you still had a good time though. I know you still went down to New Harmony, and I think you did some painting down there, even though the event that well my workshop was canceled.
Nancy says, "How do you see the colors you see so beautiful?" And someone else says, "It's turning out so beautiful."
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm pumped about it too. I I love. I mean, this is like what makes painting fun for me is just seeing color and exaggerating color. Because a lot of what I'm painting is stuff that I see, but some of it is exaggerated too. And I always think that if well, what was I gonna say? I don't even know what I was gonna say, but this is where coming back through with this second coat of the highlight is going to make a difference too, because when you're painting on the dark surface like that, it takes a couple coats.
Sharon says, "What the Pacific Northwest is missing are the amazing thunder and lightning storms," and I totally agree with you, Sharon.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
It hardly ever rains really hard here.
yeah, I know.
I mean, comparatively to there, and those thunderstorms, yeah, they're pretty good. Like it's like you think you've experienced a thunderstorm. I grew up here and then moved there, and I thought that I'd been through a thunderstorm until we were there, and then it's like, oh yeah,
Yep.
those there were times when you're in the upstairs, like I was up in the attic, or like in the upstairs where our room was, and the 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 thunder was so loud. I mean, it felt like
The house was shaking.
yeah, it felt like the house shook, and it felt like the flash. I mean, I don't know where it was because I was inside, but you just think like, did that hit something super close to the house? What was that? Because that was crazy. So I would also love to let you guys know, I'm giving away these 7 paintings this week because I want to do my part in loving people and loving the world and shining light. And I appreciate everybody who's, had fun and participated with us and kind of like gone along with all my antics. Like, I don't know, it's kind of funny. I'm like always trying to think of what can I get people to do today? Uh, you know, and I don't want to make it like too hard or anything like that, but it's kind of fun, to like make people do something, to try to like win. And because I don't really know, like, how do you pick who's gonna get this? And so like basically we do it all through, like, it's just random. It's just totally but you have to have completed the things, and then we just double check to make sure you did everything and whatever. But it's fun to give. It's fun to try to um, spread cheer and joy and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, and I would also just say, like, if you don't win and you really do want a painting, I'm going to have a show, because normally this time of year we have our what's called the Mother's Day studio tour, and that is kind of a pretty big deal around here. It's kind of like one of the major sources of art sales on Camano Island where I live, because there's lots and lots of people that come through. And of course, because of everything, it's closed down. It's not going to happen this year. And we're still doing a like kind of virtual studio tour. There's only about 5 artists or 6 artists that are from the area that are actually doing it, where there would have been probably like 30 artists that would have opened up their studios. But I don't think, not everybody's a full-time artist, so they don't really necessarily have the capabilities to do it online and everything. All that to say, we'd love for you to stop by, see our show that we're gonna open up next week, and if you're interested in making a purchase, we'd love that. Like, this is it's kind of again, like, it's gonna be kind of fun, because I feel like in some ways we'll be able to open it up to more people than normal, because even though the studio tours, there's quite a few people that come through, it's not as big as if you had a lot of people come from all around the world, because it's just a local event. So I think it'll be fun, and we'd love for you to come by, see what we've got going on, and you can do it from your living room.
Jan Young says, what's the website of the studio tour?
Oh, well, the website is just going to be at our personal website, like JedDorseyArt.com.
JedDorseyArt.com.
Yeah. And I haven't really talked about or advertised it at all yet, but I'm going to start next week on Monday talking about it a bit. And so if you follow me on anything, you'll see it. I'm going to do my best to spread the word.
A bunch of people are saying they've already cleared space for the painting. Like Doug says, yep, this painting belongs on a wall. Can't wait to see it there. And Dorina says, good luck, Doug, but I've already cleared a space for it.
That's funny.
Then Anne says, as far as who gets this beautiful painting, I have to remind everyone that Mother's Day is almost here, and this would surely be getting a card.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are too
that's
funny.
funny. That's so funny. Well, I'm glad that people have a good sense of humor about everything.
Yeah.
That's actually, honestly, I think, man, a lot of people are funnier than you would necessarily like know. Like, I mean, I think you guys don't. If you guys, most of you probably have never really ever met Renee, my wife, but Peter, you can attest to this.
Yes.
Renee's funny, isn't she?
Mhm.
And she's goofy. But if you don't know her, you never see any of that.
Yeah,
It's mind-boggling to me because I always am trying to explain to people, and I'm trying to get Renee to open up and kind of like, come on, Renee, like do that thing that you were doing the other night. And she just shuts down. She just refuses to do anything like that. Like when it involves doing it in front of other people. And then me and Willow, we have this idea that we're going to write a book called The Secret Life of My Comedian Mom, because
You mean Canadian or Canadian?
no, comedian.
Oh, okay.
Because she's so fun, but it's secret. It's all secret. Like no one knows except for us. So we've got this plan in place. But I feel like that's the way it is with a lot of people. Like I don't know if somebody's funny, and then I get to know them a little bit more, and then all of a sudden they're like, I'm just dying with them. Like they're so funny.
Serena says it's hard when you're an introvert.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm gonna update the description with a link to the reference photo, guys. So if you want that,
I think I did. I put it in there.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
Perfect. Yeah, so it's there. Jed beat me to it.
I did. I put it in there, guys. I was doing my best for you.
Lucinda says, Jed, I think this quarantine has allowed people to show more of their home life, family humor with the world.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, I haven't seen tons of that, but I bet. I mean, people are so bored, like trying to, like entertain kids and do all sorts of stuff, like I can imagine like that. There's so many new things coming out from people. And Peter and I were talking the other day because I know that like the networks are basically running out of their shows, right? I mean, they haven't been able to film stuff, and so they're kind of like at their last little bit. And we were just like, I kind of wonder, will there be like new shows and new things that come out that are just from families or something, like really local, locally produced things. That'd be kind of crazy and kind of cool. Okay, so we're getting really close here, guys. Peter, do you have a way to, well, I guess never mind. We already decided we're not gonna choose this tonight, but we will let you know. I probably will be done here in just a short amount of time, and then I'm going to what?
Doug says, I'd like to order the frame tonight. What size should I get? Serena and Nancy, it's your bedtime.
Too funny. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we'll pick it and announce it tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, we'll make the announcement. In fact, the one that I didn't even announce yesterday's winner because I haven't picked it yet. I mean, I have to go through and make the thing choose it.
We have 186 people watching.
Oh, sweet. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, you guys. Welcome, and we're glad to have you. I don't know, but like I said before, make sure you send us a text if you haven't already at the number that's on the screen, and make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we'll, we like to do this. We like to do things that are fun, and we like to give stuff away. We like to make the world a little bit brighter place. So, yeah, we'd love to let you know when we're doing it next time. That was not the exact color that I wanted. Peter's such an awesome dude too. You guys don't know Peter super well probably, but Peter is the dude, man. He helps me so much with stuff that, like, the reason anything pretty much looks good on this or anything that we do is because Peter has his hand involved in it. Like, Peter's not funny, but he's a good guy. No, just joking. Just tying in that humor part of it, right?
Yeah.
No, man. Me and Peter, we've had our fair share of adventures together. We've had a lot of good times. We're actually just talking today about trying to get another trip because we were scheduled to go down to California in the fall, and we started off on our journey, and then we realized that there were just massive fires going on in California, so we had to abort that trip, and we stayed in Oregon, which ended up being super awesome and stuff. But we were like, man, wouldn't it be fun if we can take another good trip this fall? So hopefully we'll get that in. But we've had some good times together, man. Like, we've gone on a few trips. Because he came to San Francisco with me. He came to Arizona with me. We discovered neither of us had been to the Grand Canyon. We went there together. That was amazing. Sheesh, talk about worthwhile trips. And things that people can't describe to you and pictures can't really show you, right? You guys, I'm sure a lot of you have been there, and you know it's totally that way, isn't it? It's like you can't actually really describe it. So I'm getting really close here. Last few things. What I usually do though is I say I'm done, and then you guys, I turn it off, and then I look at it and I do like 2 more things. That's what I usually do. It takes me just a minute to get the last. Oh yes, and here comes Silver. It's time to bring our little cat into the picture. Okay, just a second here. Gotta switch the cam. And then I'm gonna show you our little kitten, which is our adorable little kitten. Okay, there we go, guys. I'm gonna switch the camera so you guys can all get a good look at our kitten. Yeah, let's see here. Okay, stop. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, there we go. And here is our little kitten. Isn't Silver awesome? He's, I think, 11 and a half weeks today. Yeah, we got him on a Sunday about 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, super awesome. We love Silver. He's a great cat.
Oh yeah.
And there's a couple more things that I need to do on this, but just little tiny things just to tighten it up a little bit. But we will be choosing the winner. Peter just left on me, so I need to just kind of sit here for about like 30 seconds. Hey, Peter, are you going to come back in here? Just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. If you guys have any questions, shoot them to us right now, because, well, shoot, if he's gone. Hey, Peter, can you come back in here?
Yeah.
Oh, did you switch it?
Yeah, I switched it.
Okay, cool. Can you just make sure that if somebody's asked a question that I catch it before I say goodbye?
I've been looking through the chat. It doesn't look like it.
Okay.
So many nice comments though. Like we got people flooding in towards the end.
Oh man. Well, awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and have a really good weekend. And we're gonna let you know who won this painting. I'll hold it up so you can see it, and then I'm going to, well, shoot, I taped it down. I'm having a hard time getting it up. But yeah, we'll give away this painting. So if it's your lucky day, we'll be calling you, sending you a text to say that you won this. Otherwise, you've got another 2 shots to win something. I think that we've got 2 more paintings after this one to give away. So Good luck, you guys. Thank you for joining us, and have a really, really, really wonderful evening and a good, or for you in Australia, a good afternoon, and have a good rest of the weekend. Talk to you later.